Madam Director General, distinguished delegates, participants, it is a great honour to have been invited to participate in UNESCO's Congress on Culture and Development. I am grateful to you, Madam Director General, for this invitation on a subject that is very dear to my heart. As I am unfortunately unable to join you in person today, I am addressing you from the home of the President of Ireland. As we discussed during my visit to UNESCO headquarters in February, I suggested that culture must be a central part of any inclusive and sustainable human development and must be taken into account as an important dimension in designing the post-2015 global framework for development goals. Culture, after all, constitutes a wider space than the economic space. It is a space where both memory and imagination are shared, and from that sharing, social and economic sustainable living and development can come. As Uachtarán na hÉireann, President of Ireland, I am glad that Ireland is deeply engaged in the international processes of reviewing progress under the Millennium Development Goals and in examining the requirements for an integrated successor framework beyond 2015. We in Ireland are convinced that the core of any future framework must include a clear recognition of the fundamental link between food security, nutrition, sustainable development, and the eradication of poverty within the framework of intergenerational justice. And when designing its new and succeeding framework, the achievements as well as the limitations of the current Millennium Development Goals will need to be addressed openly and honestly. We need to learn from our experiences to date and ensure that we build a framework which strikes the right balance between the economic, social, cultural, and environmental aspects of development, recognizing the differences that exist, the vulnerabilities that are present, and the need to respect personal and communal rights, rights that need not be in tension with properly thought out and democratically inclusive policies. Vital issues such as inclusive human rights, peace and security must be important elements of the overall approach of the review, none of which can be understood or addressed effectively without recognizing the role of culture in society. Any appropriate form of economic growth has to respect its setting and its culture. In order to achieve sustainable development, social and economic growth must be inclusive of all citizens, recognizing the needs and rights of minorities and marginalized groups, and when it provides them with employment, ensuring that it is in decent and safe working conditions. Despite some encouraging economic and social progress in certain parts of the world over the past 2 decades, it is clear that some minorities are carrying an increased burden, particularly as a result of climate change. Particularly affected are ethnic and cultural minorities, many of whom are experiencing persistent poverty despite progress at the global and national levels. The record of progress on the existing Millennium Development Goals, we must honestly admit, in fragile or conflict-affected states, has been particularly disappointing. Adopting a culturally sensitive approach when designing a new post-2015 framework will be one of the ways in which we all can contribute to more stable and inclusive societies. Recognizing the importance of culture and facilitating participation in the cultural sphere fosters understanding of diversity and intercultural dialogue. And this in turn can be an important stabilizing element in regional and national post-conflict reconciliation. Culture is, of course, an important dimension of good governance, providing a platform for the exchange of narratives and views in an open cultural space encourages the expression of multiple views and ideologies, fostering truly pluralist democracies. From our own experience in Ireland, we have learned that the creative industries can be important drivers of economic growth, job creation, innovation, and trade too, while simultaneously promoting social inclusion, cultural diversity, and sustainable human development. However, we have also learned that all of such opportunities are best realized when cultural and creative opportunities for one's own citizens are the basis upon which policy is based. If we really wish to protect and respect our natural environment, we need to change, of course, our thinking as to how we produce and how we consume at the global, national, and community levels. Local customs and practices offer us ways which are too often ignored if we are to more effectively meet ecological challenges. We need to recover a respect for indigenous wisdom as great as the excitement we have for technological innovation. In mitigating and adapting to climate change, different regions, be they urban, rural, coastal or mountainous, will face different challenges, and thus policy responses which take full account of indigenous cultures must be central to our endeavours in the process of debate and negotiation over the coming years. Thank you again, Madam Director General, for the opportunity to address this important UNESCO Congress. I wish you and all the delegates and participants the very best for a fruitful Congress and for your vital work in contributing to debate on the important role of culture in sustainable development. Slán agus beannacht.